Hello, this is God's Beloved 101. I'm back again and I'm excited to be here, and I hope you guys are excited to be here as well. Today we're going to be talking about the prodigal son. This is part 2. Last time we were talking about the father's love and how he was just ready to accept the son, to embrace him and be just like, my son, you're here, welcome. So today we're going to be talking about the son in particular. And I was thinking the other time about me. If I were the prodigal son, what would I have done? If I went home after messing up the way the prodigal son did, what would I have done? For one, I thought I'd probably hustle around, get a new room somewhere, try to dress myself up and make myself look good in front of the father so that maybe he can accept me and maybe he won't realize just how bad things had gone. Because if you think about it, with men, we always try to project that image that, okay, I wasn't doing that badly. Seriously, guys, I went with all that wealth, now I'm back. I wasn't suffering that badly. But even if you were, you don't want other people to know. So I was thinking that if I was a prodigal son, I probably would have done the same, tried to hustle for a robe here, gotten some shoes over there after coming from the pig's pen, wherever I was staying, and then try to go to the father projecting some image. But it's a wrong image because it's not real. And that's the thing we're going to be talking about today. When we go to God, sometimes we try to go there and we're trying to project an image in front of God. We're trying to act like we're righteous. We're trying to act like we got it all together. We're trying to act like, we're good, so we deserve to be here. Father, I'm here, so now accept me. But the truth of the matter is, you're not perfect. Even God himself already knows you're not perfect, but you're trying to act like you are. And so it was getting me to think about it that, if the prodigal son had gone wearing a robe already, that might be fake because obviously he hustled it for, I don't know, wherever he got it, it would probably be just a fake garment. It's not real, it's not the real deal. He goes to the father and he presents himself wearing that robe. The father wasn't going to call for the servant to bring a new robe because, obviously, he was already wearing something and he wants to act like he's wearing something already. So that's the thing. When you go to God and you're wearing your own robes, you're wearing your own shoes, you're acting like you got your act all together, it means God doesn't have the opportunity to give you his robe, to give you the sandals. And when he gives you his robe is one that is good quality, original, and it's like the best quality. But you're wearing a fake robe. God, in his patience, and this reminds me of the song by Travis Green, he says, he waited for me. It's because sometimes we're not ready to admit our faults. We're not ready to come before God and come clean with God and be just like, God, I'm wrong. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's going on. And you just want to act like you got it all together. So God doesn't come and confront you and be like, yo, can't you see that, that is fake? He doesn't do that. He lets you do your thing and run around, do everything that you want to do until you're tired and you're finally ready to admit the truth. And when you do, that's when he has a chance to finally start working with you. So today I just want to remind you that that robe is like your righteousness. The word says, seek the kingdom of God and his righteousness, then everything else will be added unto you. It is not your righteousness that God is asking you to seek, because you and your righteousness, you can never become righteous in front of God, because he says that your righteousness is like filthy rags. So when you're wearing filthy rags before God and you're acting like you're wearing a robe, you're just wasting time. Because he could have already called for his servants to bring you the good robe, the proper robe. But you, because you're wasting time, you're wearing rags and you're acting like you're wearing clothes, he's not going to force himself on you. So he's going to wait until you're ready to admit that your robe, which is your righteousness, your own self-righteousness, your own performance, is fake. And when you finally accept that and you realize that, okay, God, I'm here, I'm naked, I don't have a robe, that's when he finally says, okay, now bring the best robe and put it on him. So, little prodigal me, after getting my own robe and trying to go in front of God and act like I got it all together, I'm just delaying the proper robe. And the proper robe is the robe which is his righteousness. When his righteousness is put on you, it's not you making effort to do good things for God. It's not you making effort to try to be righteous by your own efforts. It's you saying, God, I'm dirty and I don't know how to do anything right, and letting him clothe you by himself. And when he clothes you and gives you his robe, which is of good quality, trust me, it lasts. Because one thing I know about fake things, about pretend things, is that they don't last long. You can only pretend until a certain point, and then you get tired and you finally let your true colors come out. So today I just want to encourage you that whatever it is that you have inside of you, whatever monsters you think you're hiding in your closet, don't go to God wearing a fake robe. Don't go to God wearing something that is not real. Go to God with that monster inside of you. Take it out and expose it to him, so that when he loves you and he accepts you into the house, you know that he has accepted the real you. Because mind you, there is a difference between a son that is staying in the house and he's been accepted back, but he thinks he's been accepted because of what he has done, or because he was wearing or he was looking good. And a son who knows he came with nothing. Because I mean, with men, we already know that if you have no money, you're poor, nobody wants you around. And this guy just went in his poverty and he's like, this is me now. I know I left with half the wealth, but I am poor as, I don't know, the poorest church mouse, and I'm here. And the father still accepted him and embraced him and kissed him, beggarly looking as he was. And now, that son, when he is accepted into the house, versus the other son who thinks I was accepted because I was pretending like everything was fine. There is a difference between those two people, because one knows they were accepted for who they truly were at their worst moment. And then the other one thinks they were accepted because they were pretending. And even if God accepted him, even knowing that this son was not perfect, he still thinks he was accepted because he was pretending, because he has never really exposed his weaknesses. So sometimes when you go to God and you're pretending to be righteous, pretending, acting like you know you got this all together, it puts you in this situation where you don't realize just how much God has forgiven you. And you know, when you look at the parable in, I'm not sure which book it is, but it says Jesus had this woman come, and then she was wiping his feet with her hair and an expensive perfume. You find that God later on makes a comment, Jesus makes a comment that he who has been loved much, who has been forgiven much, loves more. And he who has been forgiven less, loves less. How does that work out with us? When you think that God has forgiven you only of little, you love less. But when you think God has loved you and forgiven you of a lot, then you love more. So sometimes we are busy loving less, even when we're in the Father's house. We've been accepted back in, but we think that we've been forgiven little because we've only exposed ourselves a little, and we think God is accepting us based on our little actions that we've done, or our little goodness that we're trying to portray in front of him. And yet he loves you because you are his. He loves you because you're his son. He loves you because you're his daughter. And regardless of what you've done, regardless of those inner battles, those skeletons that you're hiding, he still loves you like that, and he accepts you like that. But when you don't expose it, you think he loves you because you're pretending. So because you pretend, you don't feel loved, even though he does love you. So now you get into this place where you're just trying to, pretend more, and because you're pretending, you're even more frustrated because you're just trying more and more to act like the son. And yet you don't even have to act like the son that you're trying to, putting up in your image, like I'm supposed to be acting like this son, You don't even have to do that, you just have to be yourself. But as you discover more and more that God loves you, as you discover that he loves you the way you were, and when you realize that he's forgiven you of much, when you realize he's forgiven you of much, it enables you to love him more. And as you love him more, it's no longer about you comparing yourself with the next person. It's no longer about you looking at what Mary is doing, what John is doing. It's your relationship with God. This is a personal relationship, you and God, just you and God. And also reminds me of the other parable that Jesus gave of people who were in the field. There was this field owner who had work. He had a harvest, I think, and then he went out and he kept on recruiting workers to come, and he recruited some at 9, and he promised them a day's wage, I think a denarii or so. And then he went out again at 10, at 11, at 12. And sometimes when we're looking at things like that, it's like when you have your agreement with God, when he comes and he seeks you out, he agrees with you, I'm going to give you a denarii. And then after that, You go into the field, you work, at the end of the day, he gives you a reward. And instead of you rejoicing that this guy has been faithful, he was true to his word, and he honored his word to you, sometimes you start comparing yourself with other people. You start looking around, be like, but John came at 3, how come he's also getting a denarii? And then now you get into the situation where you start comparing yourself with John, comparing yourself with Mary. But when God was having a contract with you, and he was having a conversation with you, and he was recruiting you to come into his kingdom, he didn't talk to you about Mary, he didn't talk to you about John, he talked to you about you and him, and it was an agreement between the two of you. And I think sometimes that's how sometimes we get lost in our Christian walk. We have been called to be in a relationship with God, in a personal relationship with God, and sometimes we forget that, and we end up, pursuing what other people are doing, pursuing how other people are doing it, and how their relationship with God is going, and then you start asking questions, and instead of you being content with the fact that God has honored his word with you, the agreement that he had with you, you end up looking at Mary, and then you're like, if Mary is getting a denarii and I'm getting a denarii, but I came at 11, then you start getting concerned and you even get angry. But you're forgetting that that's what you agreed with God. When God called you, it was just the two of you. And it was just the two of you. And it's between the two of you. So don't be trying to include third parties, including other people that have nothing to do with your agreement with him, because they have nothing to do with your agreement with him. So what they are doing with God, that's nothing to you. It's just what is happening between you and God. If God has said something to you and he honors it, you should be going in joy to rejoice, because he has done exactly what he said he would. And you did what you also did, what you said you would, what you agreed to do. So that's the beauty of a relationship. And when sometimes the thing is, we forget that it's a personal relationship. I was thinking in terms of husband and wife the other time, and I was like, if you're given a whole book and a set of rules of how to be in marriage, and they say you're supposed to cook for your husband, you're supposed to wash for your husband, it's like a whole list of requirements. Sometimes you get lost in just following requirements, the do's and don'ts and whatever, but you fail and you stop thinking about the relationship with God, which is what I think what had happened with the Pharisees sometimes, that they were just concerned in the do's and don'ts of everyday living. But the woman who came and washed Jesus' feet with her hair, it was like what she was doing was nothing but just something that she wanted to do out of her love for Jesus. And when you forget that it's a relationship, you start getting concerned and being so consumed in do's and don'ts that you forget to do the things that you're supposed to be doing, because you're in a relationship with God, because you're in a relationship with Jesus. That lady, she just acted out of her love. And she was not thinking about the do's and the appropriateness of what she was doing. She's not thinking about the law. She was not thinking about the requirements. She was just going to do what her heart was telling her to do in her love for God. So I just wanted to encourage you that, loving God is something that might be hard to do, but it's not hard at all. All you have to do is focus on his love for you. And then that will make you to love him back. Because as you focus on the fact that he has loved you and he has forgiven you much, then you're able to love more. You're able to also love him back with equal intensity, if not more. And not because you're putting effort to love him, but because it's just a natural response to the fact that he loves you. So today, I just want to encourage you, expose yourself. Because when you're pretending, you don't feel loved. When you're pretending, you feel like they're accepting you because of the person that you're pretending to be. But when you open yourself up and you expose the fact that you are not that great person, and you just let yourself be you, just expose those monsters, those skeletons, and be like, God, this is me. Are you sure you want to sign on for this? He's going to say yes, because he loves you. And he is going to say yes, not just today, but tomorrow, the next day, he is going to say yes and yes and yes again, because he loves you. And he does not love you based on you. He loves you based on himself, because God is love. So just go. And as you let yourself, as you expose yourself in front of him, it means that you get to feel love, because you're not pretending to be somebody else. So because you're not pretending, you know that you are truly, honestly loved. So don't forget that, and we'll talk more about the love of God next time. So I hope you guys have lots of fun and you share. Okay, so if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and also hit the like button so that I know if this impacted your life in any way. Okay, so don't forget to do that. Just like so that I know that I get the feedback that this is actually helping, making a difference, albeit minute in the world. Right? Thank you.